So, Bill, thank you very much for your speech. It was really helpful and interesting. You mentioned a lot of disruptive technologies and the power of disruptive technologies. And we are living in an age where you have companies who were born dealing with big data, and most of the business models is based on that. And you have companies that we have talked a little bit about it today that still are not using this kind of technology. Usually when we have disruptive technology, they might be dramatic for incumbents. Historically, that's what happens. So I would like to ask you, how do you see the preparation that companies are doing today for this new reality and technology?
There's a saying that it's not that big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. And what I mean by that is the companies that prepare for this disruption, that are willing to disrupt themselves, are the ones who will win in the long run. The companies who don't prepare, that have their head in the sand, so to speak, and don't prepare for the disruptions, those are the companies that get disrupted, and they tend not to make it to the next phase, and they go out of business. One of the things that EMC prides ourselves on is always seeing the future, trying to predict the future, and build technologies that are going to solve the problems of the future, even if it means disrupting our own business model. So I'll give you an example. 10 years ago, almost 100% of EMC's revenue was hardware. The future is around the software-defined data center, the software-defined server, the software-defined network, the software-defined storage. So EMC is preparing to provide software-only versions of our technology, which will clearly disrupt our hardware business. But if we don't do that, someone else will do it. So you have to have the intestinal fortitude to disrupt your own business model. And when you do that, you tend to disrupt other folks' business models. So we view it as a good thing.
We have just talked about how innovation is part of EMC's DNA. So how do you see the innovation and the research that's one of the bases of innovation in Brazil?
So I've been at EMC now for almost 30 years, and I've been coming to Brazil for almost 25 of those years. So I really have a fondness in my heart for Brazil. And so why are we putting the Innovation Lab here in Brazil? First off, you look at EMC's focus over the last several years, it's been on the rapid growth markets. People used to call them emerging markets. Brazil's not emerging, they've emerged. It's a rapid growth market. And there was always the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And we have really good presence in Russia, India, and China. We hadn't had a big presence in Brazil. And when you look at, you almost need two things to have a successful R&D facility. You need hardworking people and smart people. And you don't have to look too far here in Brazil to find the hardest working people, I think, in the world and the smartest people. And certainly our partnership with COPPEAD-UFRJ is very important to us. We're seeing really talented folks coming and talking to us, and those are the type of folks that we want to attract, for the future of EMC.
So, as you just said, one of the benefits of a chair, like we are establishing this partnership with COPPEAD and EMC, which we are really proud of, is the access to talent. What are the other benefits that you see in this relationship?
Just good ideas. I mean, you folks are working on things that are germane to what EMC is working on. If EMC tries to come up with all the problems, reason over those problems and try to solve those problems on our own, we won't succeed. We need to work with really bright organizations, really bright people, and that's what we see with this partnership. So working together today on the Innovation Lab, we think is going to be good for both of us, short-term and long-term, but certainly as a source of people for the future. EMC is a growing company. When I joined, both Brian and I joined, there were 60 people. I think I was employee number 62 and Brian was employee number 60, and now we have 65,000 people in the organization. One of the biggest challenges is the search for talent, the war for talent. And we see a lot of talented folks coming out of your organization, and we certainly want to leverage the partnership, but we'd certainly like to see some of them come and join this organization. So we think it's a marriage made in heaven, so to speak.